A reading from Kill Team, Warzone Nachmund. It is close. It called to him like a siren, only its song was sweeter and more beautiful than anything the myth-tellers of mankind's earliest days could have ever conceived. He could hear it, feel it, taste it, and as he drew nearer to it, he wanted it more. Korthranis Thrice-Blessed did not yet know what it was, only that it was a source of sorcerous power, and that he needed it. So much so that he had insisted Drekor redirect the squad in pursuit of it. Surely the reward for retrieving it one way or another would be great. "I still feel and hear nothing, Psyker," Drekor said to him. "I also fear nothing," said Agravax, a hulking warrior whose solutions to most problems involved his enormous two-handed chain axe. "You do not have my gifts. I ask that you trust, like on Vigilis."
"Yes, Korthranis, we understand. You saved all of our lives,"
said Navir. He was a bitter sadist who carried a long, curved flensing knife on each hip. "I wonder sometimes why I bothered to save you, Navir," said Korthranis.
"Because I'm your battle brother, and you cherish the bonds of the Legion,"
said Navir. He was right, but Korthranis would never admit that. The holders of the creed prowled their way through a ruined deck of the Adeptus Mechanicus ship, Fiesto Delta Xi Theta. One of the numerous Black Legion squads searching the void-floating wreck, they had been given carte blanche by their warlord to seek out anything of value. The ship had been part of a warp-stricken space hulk for millennia, only recently having been spat out and torn apart.
"This had better be worth our while,"
said Porox. The warrior carried an enormous Reaper chain cannon.
"The laboratoriums we passed by would have been filled with artifacts."
Korthranis rolled his eyes. The siren song was growing louder. He closed his eyes, following its sweet sound. He did not open his eyes for several minutes. When he finally did, the squad were passing through a doorway. The door that had once been there was long gone, but as they walked through the vacant portal, Korthranis saw that it would have been over a meter thick. Once he was inside, he could see why. It was an armory. There was rack upon rack of rad carbines, phosphor cannons, bolt guns, las guns, and more.
"See how the gods reward us for our patience,"
said Korthranis.
"Indeed they do,"
said Karad, the squad's icon-bearer.
"This is but the beginning,"
said Korthranis. "We have not yet reached the source." He looked up at the walls. Marked next to every row of weapon racks was the alphanumeric code 1 Chi Omega. They continued on. In the corners of his eyes, Korthranis saw flickers of movement.
"Did anyone see what I just saw?"
he asked.
"No, this is why we are following you."
"No, you brute. He does not refer to that. He wonders if we are not the only ones in this place,"
said Navir.
"My auto-senses detect nothing. Jumping at shadows, are we, Korthranis?"
"We are being followed?" asked Drekor. "Who is it, or what?"
"It could be anything,"
said Korthranis.
"Mortals, Xenos, mutant or others."
"No matter. Whatever it is, it will regret drawing our ire," said Drekor. "How much further must we go, Psyker?" Korthranis saw movement above. He looked up. A beautiful Xenos bird perched upon a shelving unit. It resembled the raptors of ancient Terra, though was more elegant and sleek than anything born of humanity's homeworld. Its beak and talons were sharper, and in its eyes was a much keener intelligence. This bird of prey seemed unconcerned that it had been spotted. It looked Korthranis straight in the eye, as if daring him to blink. "We are very close indeed, Drekor." Korthranis smiled. "I also know who is trailing us. Eldari, pirate, raider types. They are happy for us to know we are here. They wish to warn us away."
"They should know better. We've killed enough of them by now,"
said Agravax. "Counter-ambush formation," said Drekor. "Watch your sectors. Maintain good spacing." Xyander moved towards Korthranis' left. He was mid-stride when he jerked as though struck, then crumpled to the ground with a clatter of armor plate. Korthranis never heard the shot that killed the warrior. "Sniper!" Before Korthranis had even finished the word, His armor was struck by a hail of shuriken. More shots whistled over him past him. They were answered by the booms of bolter fire as the rest of the heretic Astartes took cover and returned fire.
Keep moving, we cannot be pinned down,
Korthronis roared. With that, Porrox fired his chain cannon in a wide arc across the positions where the Eldari were firing from. Whether or not Porrox struck any, Korthronis did not know, but he certainly kept the aliens' heads down. The rest of the squad took advantage. Navir, Agravax, Jaego, and Lycos moving without taking much fire. When Korthronis moved, however, he was still the target for hails of shuriken. His armor absorbed much of the monomolecular ammunition, but a handful of the discs slid their way into his legs. He felt warm blood running down them as he took cover again.
They are after me. Brothers, they are targeting me. They know what I hear and what I seek.
Lycos fell, his head shredded by shuriken fire.
Gods damn these Xenos!
If they fight this hard to defend it, it must be worth claiming,
Agravax roared, laughing. He was fighting two of the Eldari at once, keeping them at bay with almighty swings of his axe. The Xenos wore regal blue armor draped with furs, scaled cloaks, and trophies. Korthronis moved again. An Eldari intercepted him, flashing a long, powered blade. With a whisper in a dread tongue and a simple gesture, Korthronis engulfed the alien in green fire. Its screams made the Psyker smile. Another Eldari raced to stop him, this one wielding two blades, which it rapidly whirled about its head. The alien leapt towards Korthronis, swords raised high. The Psyker raised his hand to slay the Xenos, but too slowly. As the Eldari drew closer, Navir intercepted the creature, parrying the pirate's swords with his own flensing blades.
Don't say I never returned a favor,
he said, grunting with effort as he matched a barrage of impossibly swift lunges and strikes from the Eldari blade master.
You owe me your share of the slaves from the next raid.
That I do, brother. He ran on, ignoring the agonizing pain in his legs. All will be worth it. An Eldari warrior appeared to his right, wielding an enormous cannon. Korthronis recognized it. It was a wraith cannon. Those weapons could tear apart real and warp space. Suddenly, the Corsair was no longer there. All that remained was red mist. Thank you, brother, he said psychically to Porrox, pressing the messages into the warrior's mind. The artifact was just ahead now, in a sealed containment device. It was some kind of crown. Scores of wires were plugged into it. It throbbed with empiric power. There was no telling how old it was, or what the limit to what its potential was. And now there was no Eldari between Korthronis and his prize. He drew his fell blade to shatter the arm glass between him and the artifact. The sword passed right through it, but made no contact with anything. Korthronis struck again. The same thing happened. It was a mirage. The Eldari who created it appeared on a gantry far above the fighting. It wore a crested helmet and carried a long staff with a rune at its head. Korthronis could still sense the true artifact deeper in the armory.
Where is it? Where is it?
He roared in frustration.
Devious alien dogs!
The image faded. A Xenos warrior wielding a bulky backpack and wielding two short, curved blades blinked into existence before him. Two others, identically equipped, appeared out of nowhere, one on either side of him.
I am undone.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.